Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain.
Well, hello, guys. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to tonight's live. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? Welcome in. If you are new to the channel and this is your first time here, hi, hello, and welcome. And if you're coming back for a returning Titan, you're coming back for another live, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to roll up my sleeves a little and put the fan on me because now that the lights are on, I'm getting a little warm. I may have to take my sweater off because I have a full bodysuit on thing, like a leotard. So I'm good to go there. But we'll just roll up the sleeves a little bit. There we go. But let me welcome in some people, and then we will get into tonight's live. We're going to go over some documents that came out of Pennsylvania. Never thought I'd be saying those words again. But here we are. Here we are. I found some documents. So, hey, baby girl. Hey, Dawn. I needed you earlier. I was saying words wrong in Washington. I was like, she's probably at work. And I'm over here spouting off words wrong. They were trying to help me in the chat. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Cracker Jacks. Hey, Ladybug. I don't know if I said hey to you. And hey, baby girl. Welcome in, everybody. And be careful on your trip. I saw that it looked like Kathy was going on a trip. That sounds like fun. Hey, Willows. That sounds like a lot of fun. Ashley's on the road, too, so be careful being on the road. Make sure you're just listening. Only talk and chat, at red lights. I'm not going to tell you to not talk and chat because, you will. You're adults. But I'll tell you to do it at the red lights. So let's see. And I said hi to Willows. Okay. You guys have been talking in here, chit-chatting. I love it. I love that. Hey, Princess. I saw that you had an anniversary, too. I got to get down to it. Did it say 20 months? It has to be more than that. Has to be. I love that, Ashley, that you helping people save money. Hey, mi amore. Hey, happy mom. Anything with the happy in it gets me. I like that name. Prepping for lunch? Meal prepping? Hey, get to the ducking point. Welcome in, everyone. It's good to see you guys. I think I say welcome in probably 100 times before we get to it, but that's fine. I could be mean to you guys and say, all kinds of mean stuff. Hey, Tony. Hey, Cougar. Hey, Sailor. It's been a while, I feel like. I haven't seen you in a while, Sailor. Hey, Dion. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. Hey, Betsy. I'm trying to get everyone. Betsy's in here. Doodlebug. Hey, Doodlebug. Hey, Jet Set. Well, we've got all kinds of people coming in. Hey, Captain. There it is. 26 months. Okay. I was going to say, I knew it was longer than 20, but I was thinking 28, but 26. I know. We need a new arm. I need to make you guys one. I have a list. This is my list of to do. Let's see if I've done anything on. I haven't done anything except for this. I've done that. Yeah, that's about it. I have to get to my list this weekend. Oh, Mia Mori, I love that. She said, if I had it any better, I couldn't stand it. I love that. I feel that way too. I am enjoying the month. I am enjoying the month. How are you liking it, George? I feel like there's like a hair on my face. Hey, DM, she's driving and listening too. Everyone's driving and listening. Everyone's got a plan today but me. Hey, Aries. Maybe I need to get out. I got out earlier. And I actually even talked to somebody. I couldn't believe it. Like, I usually have my headphones on, which I did have my headphones in. And this lady, I could see like she was like talking to me, and I took one of my headphones out. She's like, oh, you have those little earbuds in. She was an older woman. She's like, do you hear that noise? And as soon as she said it, it was like a crackling noise. The music was messed up or something. And I was like, yep. And I was like, I hate it. And she's like, me too. And then that was about it. But I had some interaction. That was about all I had. But she was a sweet little old lady. She was just like, she's like, I can't stand it. It's hurting my ears. And I'm like, I hear you. I'm going to put my headphones back in. I'd rather listen to someone yelling in the headphones. Yeah, just be careful. Super bad storm, Ashley said. You changed it again. The Hives UK spokesperson, Aries to the ground. How many times can you change your name, Aries? Can you change it as many times as you want? It's not like Facebook, is it? Where it's like it gives you a certain amount of time, and it's like after that amount of time, it's like no more changing it. They won't let you change it. Or I think even YouTube's like that. Like if you have a channel, I think you can only change your name a couple times or something. But I don't know for sure. So we did have some documents that came out tonight. Well, they didn't come out tonight. They came out on June 4th through the June 6th. So through today. But I didn't know that we were still looking in Pennsylvania for documents. So today, when I was reading over, stuff like articles and stuff for tonight's live, I had a whole presentation like set up for you guys for crime scene cleanup and everything. And I switched my whole live. I was like, wait a minute, we got to do this. So basically what happened was they are calling witnesses in the trial right now. They're getting ready for trial for Brian Kohlberger. So these are the names that they are requesting and why they're requesting them, and if it's the defense or if it's the prosecution. So basically, we're going to go over new documents that came out in Pennsylvania. That's where Brian Kohlberger was taken into custody. Hey, Villanova. They are calling witnesses to come out and testify in the trial, which tells me things are going as scheduled. I believe now that Ann Taylor is not going to get her continuance in this trial like she's wanting. Hold on a second. I got animals. They're all at the door. Hold on one second. Except for one. Okay, there you go. Here you go. Take your brother. Go ahead. Take your brother. There he goes. Okay. See you guys. Okay. See you later. Door's a little loud. Okay. Sorry about that. They all wanted to go out. I didn't realize I had the cat in here too. Hey, Tammy's Clips. And if I missed you coming in, hello, welcome in. Yeah, the cat was like, I turned around, the cat was at the door, and I kind of had him in here the whole night the other night. Didn't realize it. So a lot of these actually read out the same way, but a couple things are different. So in my opinion, what I was saying before was I don't believe Ann Taylor is going to get her continuance. I don't think that they would waste their time filing this paperwork. And it says on there that they need them for the trial August 11th through whatever. I think they need them all for like 2 days. The ones that I read, I got the chance to read through. I didn't download these because they wouldn't let me highlight them when I downloaded it. So I was like, okay, well, then I won't even download them. So whatever. But we're going to go through these documents and we're going to see if they're going to be a witness for the defense or for the state. So the first one up, I should have actually, let me see if we can figure out some of these. Because some of these people we knew, remember, like we didn't know, but we found out in an article. So I'm going to see if, I don't think this is one of them. If we do, let me know. But this one is an order scheduling a hearing. Oh, actually, let me see. I saw that Tammy was a member for 4 months. Thank you for being a member for so long. Oh my gosh, is that you in baby form? That's so cute. Someone needs to do that to me. Yeah, Dion, we did. We read the letter. Yep. We're probably going to read it again. I said before trial. I think I said that last night. I was like, we'll probably read this again before because I have it handy. But this says it doesn't like nothing's up here. But and now this. Okay, consideration of the petition for summons directing witness Maggie Sanders to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings filed in the above caption matter is hereby ordered. Remember last night I had all kinds of questions about like, if they would get time off, if they would be paid for this, all of that good stuff. Hopefully it'll tell us in this in these articles. So I think this is all open because I don't know why it's open, but it says Monroe. So let's see. It says 1, a hearing, the petition shall be held on, I think this is because it's Monroe's paperwork. So Monroe County. This is 2, petitioner shall promptly serve a copy of this order upon Maggie Sanders. Maggie Sanders shall appear at the hearing to show cause why she should not be compelled to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings. Okay, so this is for when she goes to court. If she goes to court in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which is Monroe County, say she has to have good cause as to why she can't travel to Idaho to serve as a witness in this case. She would have to show good cause. Now, I don't know what would be. I mean, you would have to show, someone would have to be dying in your family or something crazy, to be able to get out of that, right? And then they would have to do something where they question you, maybe through Zoom, instead of having you there in person. You know what I mean? They would still have to have your testimony somehow, but it's just kind of crazy. So this is it says order issuing summons for Maggie Sanders. So Maggie Sanders is a material and necessary witness in a criminal proceeding pending before the district court for the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho. Number 2, compelling the attendance and testimony of Maggie Sanders will not cause undue hardship to her. I beg to differ. That's hardship. You got to travel across the country. The laws of the state of Idaho where the prosecution is pending and of any other state through which Maggie Sanders may be required to pass by ordinary course of travel provide protection to her from arrest and from the service of civil or criminal process while traveling to, attending, and returning from the proceeding. Protect her from arrest? What, if she's breaking the law? Is she getting a jail off free card? What? I need Emily D. Baker. Because it says Maggie Sanders may be required to pass by ordinary course of travel, protection to her from arrest and from the service of civil or criminal process while traveling to, attending, and returning from the proceedings. That's what it means. Huh. How about that? Oh, they don't have to? Well, look at that. That could be her excuse, I guess that could be, huh? And also, we are streaming over to Twitter tonight too, or X, I guess you'd call it now. And I forgot to say that. So, hey, Stewpot. Man, we need Emily. And thanks, Machichi. Look at your dog. Makes me smile. Wait, what are they doing out there? Okay. Number 3, the laws of the state of Idaho where the prosecution is pending in any other state. And oh, wait, I already read that. Sorry. For the reasons it is hereby ordered as follows, a summons shall issue with a copy of the certificate issued by the Honorable Stephen Hippler of the District Court for the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho pursuant to 42, gives the statute attached directing Maggie Sanders to attend and testify in the criminal proceedings pending in the state of Idaho on the dates of trial, which begins August 11th and ends November 7th, with the specific date to be communicated to Maggie Sanders by the court. And then it had I believe, one more, and then it has a exhibit. Do you hear that? He's vacuuming. I'm sorry. That's making me laugh. This is just making me laugh today. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but this is serious, and I'm laughing because he's out there vacuuming at 9:30 at night. Okay, so it says here, pursuant to, and gives the code, petitioner respectfully requests that this court scheduling a hearing and subsequently issue a summons compelling Maggie Sanders to testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings, and in support of this request, avers as follows. Thank you, baby. Oh, thank you, baby girl, for your hard work. I appreciate that. So nice of you guys. Thank you. Petitioner, the undersigned, has been retained as local counsel by the firm of Ann Taylor Law in its capacity as counsel for Brian C. Kohlberger in a criminal proceeding pending in the District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, County of Ada, captioned State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohlberger, and bearing docket number CR01-24-31665. Number 2, the trial is scheduled to take place from August 11th, 2025 until August 7th, 2025. 3, Judge Hippler, Stephen Hippler of the District Court for the 4th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, has issued a subpoena commanding the appearance and testimony at trial of Maggie Sanders, who lives, works, or does business in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. And that's a copy of attached subpoena. It's Exhibit A. They don't give us the exhibit. They don't let us have it. They said no. So I was like, well, thanks. Well, thanks. I would like to have that. It's under seal. So we already know that why it's under seal. They always say, a criminal proceeding is pending in the district court for the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho. Maggie Sanders is a material witness in that proceeding. The presence of Maggie Sanders is required as a witness in this proceeding for a specified number of days, and Maggie Sanders will be protected from arrest and civil or service of civil or criminal process while traveling to, attending, and returning from the proceedings. I didn't even know about that. I mean, I didn't even know that you could do that. Like, you could do that? Give someone like a get out of jail free card? Like, here, you can come here we need you over here in, Idaho. Drive from Pennsylvania to Idaho, and we won't pick you up like we did Brian Kohlberger. We won't stop you. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for the super sticker, Ladybug. Thank you, Tammy's Clips. That's nice. Oh, thank you. I'll look at them later. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's so sweet. I sent your baby image to your email. I know you don't, baby girl. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you, baby girl. That really does. I notice that. I notice everything. I notice it all. I don't know if this is supposed to be crossed out, but it kind of looks like it. But it's not. Judge Hippler's certificate constitutes prima facie evidence of all the facts stated therein. Pursuant to the code, petitioner respectfully requests that this court issue an order directing Maggie Sanders to appear for a hearing to determine whether she should be compelled to attend and testify in out-of-state proceedings discussed herein. Wherefore, petitioner respectfully requests that this court set a date and time for a hearing on this petition, and following the hearing, issue a summons directing Maggie Sanders to attend and testify at the criminal trial in Idaho. Man, Maggie Sanders, whoever you are, you probably peed off right now, aren't you, girl? I would be. Let me go back up and see if I can. Oh, I can heart these. I have to do it on my other one, on my iPad. Not weird. That's weird, isn't it? Okay. So then this is might be the exhibit A. Okay, yeah. So there's exhibit A, but we don't have that. So this just says that ex parte sealed certificate of an Idaho district judge. Okay. Oh, okay. So it says here that pursuant to code, it gives the code, and after considering the motion of the defendant and the affidavit of Elisa Massif, the district court of the 4th Judicial District in the state of Idaho in and for the county of Ada being otherwise fully advised, hereby certifies as follows. It just says that it's a court of record in the state of Idaho. There is a criminal proceeding pending before this court at case number, and it gives the case number. Defendant in this case is charged with 4 counts of murder in the first degree and 1 count of burglary. I am the judge assigned to preside over the trial scheduled to begin on August 11th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. through November 7th, 2025. Maggie Sanders, a person within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is a material witness in this case for the defendant. Okay, so number 5, was this page 10? Okay, I just want to because I want to make sure on each one, a lot of them were reading the same way, but I want to make sure that that spot is reading the same in all of them. So she is going to be a material witness for the defendant. Is Maggie's not the school teacher though. The school teacher was Ann. Who the hell is Maggie? I'm trying to read over this article again to see if it's in there. Wait, right here. Okay, so their connections to the case are not immediately clear, it says. So we don't really know what she's. You guys have any clue? Hey, Lenora. Hey, Happy Feet. I love that name. And I love the comment. Happy Feet. Hey, True Crime Lullabies. Hey, Jenna. I had to go back up a little bit. Hey, welcome in, everybody. Oh, Jog's in here too. Welcome in, Jog. Oh, I did. Oh, man. I'm going to look at the baby after this. I bet it's cute. Okay, so for the reasons stated in the affidavit of Elisa Massif, the presence of Maggie Sanders is required at the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Idaho. I would love to have that affidavit. Number 7, Maggie Sanders' presence is required for 2 days. That's I don't think that's very long. Her testimony could be anywhere from 1 hour to 8 hours. They're only going to be in court a few hours each day, and they would schedule it far out to where if they needed to rebut or have more people come in and if the prosecution wants a redirect and question her again, things like that. I think that they would make time to make sure that they could do that. And so that's why they're saying 2 days. Her testimony is probably only a couple hours worth, it's probably half of the day, but they want her for 2 days. So under the laws of the state of Idaho, and that's just me, just guessing. If Maggie Sanders comes into the state in obedience of the summons requiring her presence at this trial, she will not be subject to arrest. Oh, I've had that happen. I've had a summons before. Or service of any process relating to matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. But I didn't get get out of jail free card. So number 9, the certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of court of record in the state of Pennsylvania in support of an order to compel the attendance of Maggie Sanders at the time and place and for the reasons stated above. Now it says it was dated back March 13th, but they didn't put this into the Commonwealth's site until June 4th, 2025. So the next one. Oh, wait, actually, we're not done with this one yet, are we? No, we're not done with this one. I think there's a couple more things. There's Exhibit B, and then the subpoena. So I guess we do get to see the subpoena. It says to Maggie Sanders, sorry, Maggie, I would have blocked out your address if I would have known. Because I don't like to dox people, but I think everyone else is probably going to be showing Maggie's address. So that's really sad. You are hereby commanded that, laying aside all excuses, you appear in the District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the State of Idaho in and for the County of Ada in Boise, Idaho, scheduled for August 11th through the end of trial. As a witness in the above entitled matter, you on the part of the defendant. Okay. You are further notified that if you fail to appear at the place and times specified above, that you may be held in contempt of court and that the aggravated party may recover from you the sum of $100 and all damages which may be sustained by your failure to attend as a witness. You will not be needed every day of trial. Please call Ann Taylor Law, gives their number, upon receipt of the subpoena to discuss the time for your appearance as a witness in this matter. You ain't gonna get your way, lady. So you're dealing with Ann Taylor. So, okay, that was the end of it. Now, the next one is a summons for, I want to make sure I get them right. I'm trying to find the name. Jesse Harris. I think this is the other name that we didn't know. No, we might know this one. Hold on. Jesse Harris is the boxing gym. Okay, so it says whose name is on the boxing gym where Kohberger used to train. So apparently he owns the boxing gym, or he boxed with him, or something like that. So all of this reads the same up here. I'm going to kind of go through it just to make sure, but I'm not going to read it out loud. Just saying, he's a material witness, or he's material and necessary witness. Same thing as we'll call as, undue hardship. And then it says the same thing, like he can travel without being arrested. A summons shall issue with a copy certificate issued. Okay, so we read all that before. And it says, which, he wants him to be in the state of Idaho for the trials that begin August 11th and ends November 7th. Sorry. Let me grab my drink. That might help. Okay, so this is just them asking about the hearing again, like, schedule hearing. And it says the undersigned has been retained by local counsel Ann Taylor. The trial schedule will take place, it says again. And it says Jesse Harris, who lives, works, or does business in Monroe, Pennsylvania. And it says Judge Hippler issued a certificate under seal affirming that, and it always says the same thing, just protecting them. It says see copy of, Exhibit B. I don't have Exhibit B, but same thing. So I don't want to read the same thing over to you guys. I thought they did, but I wanted to double check. This would be triple checking now. So that's Exhibit A, but we do want to look on page 10 under number 5. So he is going to be a material witness for the defendant. So same thing as Maggie, what was her name? No, I'm going to go to the top so I can get her name. Maggie Sanders. And this is the boxing coach that Kohberger sparred with, or he was the owner. So maybe he owned the business, but I think that Kohberger had boxed there with him, or, it was his business either way. So same thing, same exact thing on this one. Exhibit B. And it just says, same thing. You're commanded to come, laying aside all excuses. You could be in contempt. Contempt is only $100 though. I guess it depends on what kind of witness you are. Like if they really need you. Yeah, Dr. Ramslin was the professor. So he had a lot of professors, but the one that they're calling is the professor that he had at DeSales that gave him got him into the PhD program. That's the one that they're calling as the one that they want to, they want to talk to. Her name is Ann Parham. I'm sorry, no, no, sorry, not Ann Parham. That's an advisor. Marie Bolger. Bolger is her name. Bolger. And she's the one from DeSales University. So when he went to DeSales University, he was only online. It was during like COVID, but I think he was just online anyway. Which is a lot different than being in school. It really is. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but Ralph Piccio. I don't know. We're going to go with that. And then he was, it says Kohlberger wrote that he boxed daily at Harris's gym in his 2015 job application. So, and it says in a 2023 interview with Daily Mail, Bolger said Kohlberger was one of her brightest students and one of only 2 she had recommended for the PhD programs. That's the teacher. I'm trying to see if they knew the other one. So the other witnesses that they didn't know the connection was this Ralph Vecchio. Let me see how you spell it or say it.
Vecchio.
Oh, Vecchio. Wow. I guess I was saying that wrong. Really wrong. Okay. So I didn't mean to do that. Okay. I meant to make it bigger. So we'll have to wait till trial to figure out who this person is. But it's one of 14, so it's going to be the same thing, the same stuff that they put into the other 2. I want to see if it says he's for the state or for the defense. I think he's for the defense. But let me see. Let's go to page 10. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is. So it says Ralph, whatever just said his name was, Vecchio, a person within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is a material witness in this case for the defendant. Okay. I guess he's what I'll probably be for the defendant since Monroe County, Pennsylvania, but you never know. Elisa Massif wrote the affidavit. The presence of Ralph, I can't pronounce the name, is required by Ada County Courthouse. I have so many names in my brain, it feels like it's going to explode. So it's presence required for 2 days. Same thing. Okay. We'll just double check. Exhibit B. Same thing. Yep. Same thing. Okay. So there's more. Don't you worry your little hearts. We got a couple more to go through. This one, it's going to be the same thing. I just want to see if they I wish they would say something like if it's for the prosecution. Do you know what I mean? Like against the defendant, I guess that's what I'm thinking that it would say somewhere, maybe, but it's not really looking that way. But these are all people that are, that were in Brian's life at one point or another. Just imagine being a teacher and just having all them students come through through your classroom, and one of them becomes a murderer and you're called to testify across the country. I mean, shoot. I'd be like, they don't pay me enough for this. So Ann Parham, a person within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is a material witness in this case for the defendant. I wonder it says a material witness. I wanted to see exactly what it meant. In legal context, is someone whose testimony is vital to a criminal case and whose presence in court cannot be easily secured by a regular subpoena. This means their information is crucial to the case and there's a reason to believe they may not appear in court if not compelled. Oh, okay. Just curious. So yeah, you better get your butts over to Ada County there, guys. It says that she's required for 2 days. We don't know, we don't know who this one is either, do we? No. Or no, the ones we don't know are Ralph and Maggie. Sorry. Ann is the advisor at the school that Koberger attended. So I think she may be the one that was the counselor. She might be the guidance counselor. Ooh, I don't remember her name. Do you guys remember her name? I wonder if that's who it is. Well, thank you, Tumbleweed. Look at that. I love the name Tumbleweed. I say we rolling in like a tumbleweed all the time on the channel. Thank you for extensive coverage of the case. Oh, you're welcome. Greatly appreciated. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, now I'm going up through the chat and you guys are talking about tacos. Man, that sounds good. Taco night. Okay. So we got Ann. We're going to go through their names. I got to put this up to the top. Ralph. I'm on the bottom of all these. So Jesse Harris and then Maggie Sanders. So then we have the next one. It's Brandon Andriola. Don't remember him. Brandon Andriola. Oh, thanks, Jenna. Good night. I hope you have a good night. Sweet dreams. Never jog. I don't like cheese, though. If I was a cheese person, I probably would. If you're talking about like pepper jack cheese, I guess. That's what I'm assuming you're talking about. So just says, up here, summons for witness, Brandon Andriola to testify. It's going to say for the defense. This is 14 pages as well. So sorry if I'm getting you guys dizzy doing this, like scrolling through these. I just realized that I should have used the thing on the side. Material witness in this case for the defendant. These people are important. I mean, enough for they want them to come all the way out. Like whatever you're doing, we're going to need you to like not do it. And come out here in the middle of your summer. Like, what if these people have kids? Right? Kids go back to school like in the middle of August. I mean, I guess I hope they have the other parent there to get them all ready. Can you imagine that? Like if that's your job and your job for years to get your kids ready for school, like for the year, and you have to go cross country. So you're leaving the responsibility up to the other parent. They're probably like, because I mean, that stuff's crazy to do. They better have a mom, dad, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, cousins. They're all going to have to be chipping in to help. I mean, shoot. I guess you could do your testimony in one day, right? But I guess it kind of sounds like they want them all out there at the start of the trial. And then almost like they'll be able to leave once their testimony is done. So who knows when they're going to use their testimony, right? I mean, it would be a little while. So, yeah, if your subpoena is not, it's a ducking point. You're right. That's so I got one after my car accident. The person that caused the accident, it was a single car accident, but the person that caused it got charged with a lot of stuff. But the big ones were 4 felony vehicular assaults. And me and my brain wasn't working right. And I was like, I don't want him to get in trouble. I don't want them to get in trouble. And so I was like fighting it. I wasn't giving them my medical records or nothing. And the state of Ohio picked it up. So it was like I had no choice. And they subpoenaed me. And my mom was like, yeah, you got to go now. They did pay me though for subpoenaing me. It was so little. I want to say it was like $6 or $12. It was like, why do you even give this to people? Why do you even give that to people? Like $6. You know what I mean? Like, is it 32 now? They probably put it up. I didn't get no 32. That was too much for me. But it was like 6 or 12. It was something so small. I went there for like one day of testimony. Like, and I was like, really? I had to deal with his mom for that? His mom was the worst. I'm not even going to say that she wasn't. She was the worst. She was like, kept trying to sit near me and get near me, and I didn't want to be near her. And they had to come in and like get her and tell her no. Like, who else's name? She has the name of someone else that we cover. It was like the person was like a murderer or something. I can't think of what case it is though, so I'm not gonna say the name. I won't say the name anyway, but not like you guys can't figure it out. I know y'all are sleuths. I was subpoenaed. No, yeah, I was downright subpoenaed. 32 a day for grand jury. Oh yeah, they didn't pay me that for grand jury duty neither. I was on a case where they had theft. I think they paid us. Oh, it was such a small amount per hour. I can't even remember. It was forever ago too, but yeah, I'm telling you, don't get subpoenaed. Don't get paid that much. Don't get on jury duty if you don't have to. Just kidding. If you have to be on jury duty, make sure you do your due diligence and you do jury duty. I did mine and it was something else. So the next one that they are calling, did we already go over Ann? Thought we did. No, I guess not. Ann Parham. We just said her name enough, I guess. So this one only has 1 of 5 pages. So this one is an order scheduling a hearing. Oh, wait, we did go over her. This is the scheduling the hearing. Didn't we go? Hold on. Is that the one we just went over? No, that was Brandon. Okay, we went over Ann earlier. Okay. So she's already got her little order scheduling a hearing on petition for summons for Ann Parham. Okay. So she's apparently saying, she is not doing it. And now this 5th day of June, we'll see. Says June 5th, 2025, upon consideration of the petition for summons directing witness Ann Parham to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings filed in the above captioned matter, it is hereby ordered. 1, a hearing on the petition shall be held on the 30th of June at 9:00 in courtroom number 6. Okay, we got to take a little trip to Monroe County. Right, it's not. Yeah, it's Monroe County, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. How far is that? Who lives in Pennsylvania? Who wants to go to a hearing? Let's see. It's probably so far for me. Oh, it's 8 hours and 4 minutes. That's just a little country drive. It's like a small little town. Is that a crosswalk? It is. There's a crosswalk right on the picture. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Right there at the stoplight. Oh, Brian Koberger saying that there was no stop or no crosswalks. We knew you were lying. So it says that Ann shall appear at the hearing and show cause why she should not be compelled to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings. And then this is the order scheduling a hearing on petition for summons. That was the summons for Brandon Androla. Oh, these are all the ones. So, okay, they're all in here. Okay. So June 5th. Now his is the 30th of same date, 30th of June, courtroom number 6. Okay. We got Jesse Harris, 30th day of June, 9 a.m., courtroom number 6. Well, we're not all going to go at 9 a.m. They're all going to be there though. Oh my gosh. Brian Enton, are you on your way? Summons for witness Maggie Sanders, June 30th. That would be something to see. June 30th for Ralph. So all of them are June. And that was Maggie. Yeah, they're all June 30th. So wow, okay. That is all of it, except for there was amended order for the for the Brandon Andriola to testify. It says is here amended to correct the name in the first paragraph of the order from Michelle Bolger to Brandon Andriola. Oh, okay. Well, who's Michelle Bolger? The other lady's name was something else, Bolger. Marie. So is that like a name drop? Like, who's Michelle? I'm so confused now. Okay, that's all of it. I think that's all of it. Yeah. So let me just double check. They have the same time zone as us, though. Okay. So I'm gonna exit out of all these and get us over to the podcast. But basically, remember last night when we went over how they're going to set up the courtroom? They're going to not allow like every journalist in there. They're only going to have like one person from Latah County designated because this happened in Latah County. So the Idaho Statesman is pissed. They wrote some things. They were just like, they can't believe that it's going to be a first come, first serve basis. The legitimate reporters are not going to be able to get into the courthouse because they're going to be in the same lines as regular public. And I think it's going to be a shit show, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. You're going to have the press, like the real credentialed press, like, Brian Enton kind of press, which he'll get into the courtroom, I think, because he's slick as a slick gets. But you're going to have him sitting next to like YouTubers. But you know what I mean? Like, and I'm a YouTuber, and I'm like YouTubers. Like, they shouldn't commingle, you know what I mean? Thank you, True Crime Lullabies. They just should not, like, we shouldn't become like because they're, I'm just saying. Now, there are legitimate people out there that are on YouTube, but there are people, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I want to get my news from like I think that the local news could be great. I think they could do really good as long as they put that person, whoever they position that person, whoever is in that position, and they're like high up in the news. Do you know what I mean? For Latah County. If you put in somebody that's like 20 years old and this is their first case or this is their first story, that's not going to go over well. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got to make sure we got people in there that can give us the news. Cause like, I can't be in there. I can, I guess. I don't have nothing else to do. So I guess I could. We did achieve the goal. Look at that. Thank you so much. Sometimes it comes up on this screen, but it didn't tonight. Thank you guys. You guys did such a good job. Thank you. Dion, it is the real press. YouTube is. But you know what I mean? Like, we usually get our news from somewhere or someone, I wonder if Kaylee's going to be down there at all. We have her in the chat. She's from the area. She's the one that got us the video she got us that video from the area. Why didn't I use that the other night when I was trying to look at the back, and I used like a still frame of Great Hughes. I have the traveling of the house. I don't know why I didn't use that. Okay, let's listen to the podcast. Hey, Kara. I'm glad I don't have to deal with the traffic jams. It's about to cause. Yeah. Do you think the grub truck will be there? I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's a business opportunity. I know that sounds bad, but people did that for OJ. People did that Casey Anthony. So I'm wondering. Now, I wonder if JLR will be there to say, Kohlberger, did you do it? Which they won't bring him. Unfortunately, he won't be shuffled in so where he can get yelled at, but Hey, Amnesia TV. Oh, that sounds like fun, Ash. Let me know if you do. That sounds like fun. See, you have a nice camper, though. That would be that's living. Pull me up to the front can we park right up front with your camper? I get the bed. We'll lay feet to head. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's listen to this. I don't know what's going on here. Let me resume it. Okay, go back because I was listening to this earlier. This one is going to be season 2. It's really season 6, but season 2, episode 2. And this here is the podcast. It offers an in-depth look of the homicides, of the 4 victims that were tragically killed, Sandra Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogen on November 13th, 2022. The series examines the brutal stabbings that occurred and an off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho, and the subsequent investigation that led to the arrest of 28-year-old at the time, Brian Kohlberger, who was a PhD student studying criminology in the neighboring state of Washington. Throughout the podcast, the host, along with criminologists and forensic, experts, dive into various aspects of the case. They discuss Kohlberger's background with his students in criminology, raising the questions about his potential use of his academic knowledge in the commission of the crimes. So I will put on visuals as you guys are watching the live. That way you have something to look at visually, and I'll go ahead and play it here. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all the things, all the things. So, and look, JLR, I don't know if he knows about these documents, but right here, I mean, it shows that he wasn't lying when he said people were being subpoenaed from, Pennsylvania. So I'll give him that. Okay, let's play this.
In this Idaho murder case, the decision was made, right or wrong, to demolish that house. Do you have an opinion on that?
I can see no viable, tangible reason for that home to be destroyed before the trial is complete.
Is there an immediacy for a jury going to a house, psychologically speaking? I would say yes.
This is The Idaho Massacre, a production of KT Studios and iHeartRadio. Season 2, Episode 2, Murder House. I'm Courtney Armstrong, producer at KT Studios with Stephanie Lydecker and Gabe Castillo. We were reminded last episode of the details of the grotesque horror that occurred at 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022, when Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle lost their lives. After the murders, it was seen by some as a forensic scene, or a tomb, or a macabre reminder of the horrors that happened there. But before all that, the house, located just off campus and on Fraternity Row, was full of life. It was a party house where friends gathered. Here's on-air reporter Anjanette Levy, who has covered the case on the ground since the very beginning. I asked her to describe the house and what it felt like standing in front of it.
This house makes me sad. And it made me sad because it was frozen in time. I'm standing there looking at this window, and there's a pair of pink cowboy boots in the window. When I was there in December of 2022 and then returned in early January after the arrest, what made me so sad is there was this string of lights across the back porch, and they were on. They were on. There was a couch out there, like this leather couch. As a mom, I'm like, what are you doing with a couch outside? But they're college kids, it's a college house. And this is a place where, it was a party house, but it was frozen in time in the worst possible way. The lights were on the entire time from the night this happened till I got back in January. And there's the couch covered in snow. And, you could kind of see into the kitchen. Everything stopped because this awful thing happened at this house that should have just been full of kids and laughter. And if they were going to not be there, it should have been because they were going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Everything was shattered. That was my impression of it. I have mixed feelings about the demolition of the house. I understand that Ethan Chapin's family supported the demolition of the house because it had become this horrible, macabre tourist attraction, which I think is horrific. But at the same time, I would hate for something to come up at the trial where it was needed. So I see both sides of the coin.
As Anjanette says, there are two sides to this coin, and most people fall strongly on one side or the other.
The family of the only male victim, 20-year-old Ethan Chapin, saying in a statement, were supportive of the decision to take down the King Street house for the good of the university, its students, including our own kids, and the community of Moscow.
The house was considered the largest piece of evidence that they had.
The university defending their decision to move forward.
Our understanding is from a legal standpoint, everyone was finished with the house.
You kind of want to scream from the mountaintops, just let it be. Leave it alone. Don't touch it until the trial's over.
The house was ultimately demolished on December 28, 2023. It took one day and occurred 13 months after the murders. Shortly after the demolition, Stephanie has a discussion with forensic expert Joseph Scott Morgan and data analyst Body Movin. You may remember her from Netflix's Don't F with Cats.
The particular house that they were murdered in was very specific. It was a unique layout, but the house itself was owned by the campus, and highly debated turn of events. They decided to destroy the house, to get rid of it altogether over winter break. And it's been a really heated discussion. On the one hand, you know that for the university, it's a bit of a real heartbreak on the town, on the school, also for students who went there, who were maybe triggered emotionally by this heinous crime that happened while they were attending school. Just generally speaking, probably just feels hideous to have this marker exist. And on the flip of that, some of the family members, including some people participating in the trial, say that this is an active investigation site and that from a forensic standpoint, it has to stay intact, at least until after the trial.
I spend a lot of time on the internet, as you all know. That's what I do. And I talk to a lot of people who live in Moscow, and they are all affected by this house. They have to drive by it. It's in a really dense neighborhood. The jury is never going to be allowed to go in there. They're never going to be allowed to go in there. The acoustics are different. Flooring's been removed. Walls have been removed. I have photos, and you can see all the drywall that's been cut out of Maddie's room. Like, they're not going to go in there. It's just not going to happen. It's so uncommon for a jury to visit a crime scene. So uncommon.
But it happens, though. By the way, sidebar, one of the victims has a sister and a brother who do also still attend the university. So if I'm a family member of one of the victims, I want justice. Or if I'm even a family member of the accused and I want justice, how can we destroy the forensics?
Here's my real problem with it is the fact that there are homicides that take place every single day. There's a homicide going on right now as we speak somewhere in America. I can promise you that. They're not going to go out and tear down that structure. This is an outlier as far as tearing down a structure.
It is incredibly rare for a jury to visit the site of a murder. It's also rare for a building where a murder took place to be demolished. However, the ones that fall into either category are usually multi-victim murders that are exceptionally heinous and highly publicized. Some cases where the juries did go back to the literal scene of the crime can often include cases where they may hinge on some form of integral spatial logistics. For example, Michael Peterson, where jurors walked the stairs where his wife died. Alex Murdaugh, so jurors could appreciate the scale of the large property. And
Well, the first one was inside of a large home, but it was inside of a small staircase, so it was all contained. The second one, they went to an outdoor, it was outside.
2018.
And then the shooting was a big building too.
Parkland school shooting,
I don't think they
which
cleaned
Joseph
it.
tells us about.
I even reflect back to Parkland, which I covered extensively. And look, I understand that the interior of Parkland was not changed at all. One of the most moving moments is where they talk about how when they led the jurors into that structure, remember Parkland had taken place on Valentine's Day. There were dried, crumbling roses laying on the floor, teddy bears with hearts on them. There were still bloodstains on the floor. And it, too, is government controlled. And let's face it, the University of Idaho is a government entity, and it is owned by the University of Idaho.
Of all the divisive factors in this divisive case, it seems the home's demolition drew more opposing opinions than almost anything else. Here's journalist Chris Spargo, who spent a lot of time covering the case. I started by asking him about the money spent on security of the home leading up to the demolition. It was $700 a day for securing the home alone, clocking in at $1.2 million months before the home was even torn down. Here's Chris.
The brunt of that is really being absorbed by the university. The university has really kind of cost a lot of money for them because of security reasons. Obviously when the house was up for so long and that house had to be protected that entire time, people did a 24/7 watch. Dealing with this influx of people on campus, safety measures for students, there's not really much you can do to get around those costs. And because it took place in a university, there's a lot of costs that come along with that because they want to make sure the students feel safe. They want to make sure the students feel protected. And they also want to make sure that this major piece of evidence, this house, is left untouched when there are thousands of people descending on this town who probably want to do nothing more than to get inside it or take a look around. They have to make sure no one went in that house. So that was a really, really big cost to bear.
What are your thoughts on the demolition of the house?
I do not think that the defense or prosecution would be okay with it if they thought there was any possible chance there was even like a little piece of evidence inside there. I think on the most sort of human and basic level, the last thing in the world you want those kids to deal with, which we're already dealing with so much, is to have to see that house. It's probably a horrible reminder. So for that reason, I'm really glad, that it's not there. I don't know how much the scene was going to be helpful in that case. At this point, it seems like they're having trouble even placing him at the scene. So I don't know what was going to be accomplished maybe by having anyone visit the house. But like I said, I think that if there's any sort of bit of evidence that prosecutors thought they could get out of it or bringing people to the house, they would have kept it up. And clearly they didn't think there was that there.
The FBI, prosecution, and defense teams had access to the home on multiple occasions. The prosecutor's last visit was just 1 week before the demolition. The president of Idaho University, Scott Green, released a statement on December 14th, 2023. He wrote, "It is the grim reminder of the heinous act that took place there. While we appreciate the emotional connection some family members of the victims may have to this house, it is time for its removal and to allow the collective healing of our community to continue." Let's stop here for a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stephanie continues her conversation with forensic expert Joseph Scott Morgan and data analyst Badi Movin.
Once it's gone, it's gone. The most intriguing images that I saw of the entire coverage relative to Idaho was there was a snap moment where you had agents that were back in the brush line, rear of the second floor where the sliders are, and they were squatted in the brush, and they were looking back towards the building. They were looking for fields of view at that point in time. What could you observe from this low growth scrub that was back there, these trees? Is it a location where the perpetrator could have parked? Is it an observation point where they could have seen people moving around at night? Is it at that key moment that he decided that when those lights went down, that he was going to make his move and make entry into that environment? All reference for that is gone now.
Not to mention, a big piece of the defense's case right now is that Brian Koberger claims to have an alibi. Again, we're talking about potentially more than one person being there or a different set of people being there. Were there multiple attackers? Was Brian not even there in the first place? Why would you destroy something? And I've learned this from you, by the way. The plumbing could have evidence in it. The concrete in and around the location could have evidence in it.
Yeah, let me say something about the plumbing real quick. And this brings the car into play. They think they've got the timeline settled here. But let's just say that an individual may have taken time to have gone and cleaned themselves. Did you take drain traps out? Did they run a camera down in the drain? I think my big thing is, and anybody that's kind of listening to us, our friends out there, if you live in a home that has an internal staircase, what do footfalls sound like on the treads on the interior staircase? Can you hear that? Can you hear somebody wrestling about? If you're on the second floor and it's going on the third floor, can you hear it if you're in the basement? We don't have a point of reference anymore. Still can't take the jury back out there. You can't have them go into any one of these rooms where these ghastly murders were committed and ask questions. Jury can't ask a question based upon, well, gee, look at that window and how you can see in from there to here. And how far away is the distance from the entrance to the bedroom to the flight of stairs down to the second floor? How long would it take me to egress from the third floor to the second floor landing and then down the hallway?
You think about the feeling it conjures. We saw that in Pike County.
Stephanie's referencing the murders of 8 members of the Roden family that occurred in Piketon, Ohio. It's the topic of another KT Studios podcast and a case we worked closely on with Joseph.
After the massacres occurred there and right before the trial, the jury was put on a bus and set
Yes, they were.
out to observe the landscape where the homes where those murders happened had occurred. And, we were always told it was extremely powerful. There's nothing like being in the location, especially when it's still furnished and those personal belongings that have now been removed for sentimental reasons, they should remain in that crime scene to really make it personal. That's part of it. This is the most personal thing imaginable. Why would you make a game day decision a year before the game by destroying what could potentially be relevant? Doesn't this speak to the original point that the house should not have been destroyed?
This is just my opinion, but these scans are so advanced and so well done. The house is unsafe for people to be in. And I don't know what kind of situation the rooms are in, but I can't imagine they didn't remove pieces of the floor from both bedrooms. It's not safe for this jury to be in. Well, and that's what the documents say. The documents say the house was too dangerous. And both the defense and the prosecution agreed that this is not a place that they're going to be bringing the jury.
I do hope that it was sufficiently documented. I know that they did do Faro images within that structure and also externally.
We asked Joseph for clarification on what Faro images are and how the Faro system works.
You first see the earlier iterations of these things when they're referred to as total stations. They were made famous by accident reconstructionists, where you have this one machine that they could essentially plot from a digital standpoint a motor vehicle accident, because to work a motor vehicle scene is, to say the very least, time consuming, and the calculations are mind blowing. So they took that platform and expanded it relative to this Faro device, Faro. But you can take this Faro device and place it at a scene and just imagine it's got the ability to spin on its axis thousands of different directions, and all of the while it's shooting out these little lasers and it's taking thousands of photos. And so it can digitally take those images and compile them, and it gives you very detailed information. It also has GPS that's in it. You take it into a confined space, like a built dwelling like this, and the detail is very remarkable, and you can create this 3D world. It is quite fascinating to see. So that's what a Faro station is, essentially. There's been some talk of some 3D model that may be created by the FBI lab in Quantico and be presented for the court. But I got to tell you, I've been out on a number of visits to homes where homicides have taken place, and I've been there when the juries are there. And it is a real dose of reality for them when they show up. From an investigative standpoint, if you have it, don't throw it away. I'm not a junk collector personally, but this ain't junk. This is where these lives ended.
And just, to piggyback on that, some of the other victims' families were very against it for this very reason. What if there is one little morsel of something that could bring justice to them, or frankly, get a guilty man off?
There's other cases where they've torn the apartment down, like, for instance, Jeffrey Dahmer. However, they waited for the trial.
Yeah, that's the rub.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, John Wayne Gacy's house is gone. There's nothing.
But Faro didn't really exist like it does now back then.
That's true.
It's a different time. And I would imagine at some point, it's going to be virtual reality, where these juries can put on a headset and walk through the house at their leisure.
They can, but
that would make me dizzy. I don't think so.
But you had mentioned earlier about the acoustics might not be the same. However, people that are impaneled on juries, they're not AI. I mean, they are living, breathing human beings that know what it's like to walk into a house, and that sense that you get, that auditory sense of a footfall. And I know that part of the floor has been removed and all this, but when you think about just the timing element, if I were asked, how long would it take me to make it from the sliders to that weird that if we just go on a limb here and say he entered through the sliders, how long would it take to make it from there to the interior staircase and twist and turn and get up there? And also in the darkness, I think about all of these in the relationship, spatial relationships, and all these sorts of things. And yeah, I know Pharaoh is great, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm sure the presentation will blow everybody away if we're permitted to see it. But there's still that one little splinter in my brain.
The feeling. I often equate it to, like, I like to read books, like the actual book. I don't want to read it on a Kindle. It's like I like to touch the paper, I like to turn the page. So
Yeah.
it's maybe the same kind of like
Right.
thing where you're there in person and you can smell and use all your senses to get an idea of what happened, and you're not going to be able to have that with a 3D scan.
The draw to the house after the murders is one of the reasons it was demolished. People were coming from far and wide to view the house, some with the horrible intention of taking a souvenir from the scene.
That's just sick.
We felt it was something important to try and understand, so we reached out to psychiatrist Dr. Gail Saltz, clinical associate professor of psychiatry at New York Presbyterian Hospital and host of the podcast, How Can I Help? Dr. Saltz had been quoted in an article we found about our culture's obsession with murder houses. Here's Dr. Saltz with some information about the phenomenon, followed by Stephanie.
The house is sort of like the museum of it. It's easier to imagine being part of it or in it or thinking about it, the horror of it. Much like if you said, here are the clothes of the people, or here is the weapon that was used, and you can physically look at it and hold it. And of course, homes represent all kinds of things. Homes represent the place where these people lived and had lives, and most people's homes means feeling safe and feeling joy of, whatever it might be, their family, their friends. I mean, in this case, right, their friends, being in college, feeling invincible at that age. And of course, most people are not thinking about you could be a victim in your home.
It's like, how do we prevent these kinds of things from happening? Or how do we maintain our own sense of safety when sometimes the perpetrator is so ordinary?
Many people have a desire to feel a little scared in a safe way. And we are naturally curious. The identification is partially with a victim of like how horrible the horror of that is, right? To feel like at that last moment, somebody stabbing me with a knife, like those kinds of thoughts, and imagining what's inside that guy's head that he would plot this and plan this and want to do something terrible.
In this Idaho murder case, interestingly, the decision was made, right or wrong, to demolish that house. Do you have an opinion on that?
I mean, there are rules and regulations about what can happen with evidence that it can't be brought into a courtroom. And that seems like more of a legal question.
To get that legal opinion, I spoke with Kirk Nerby, legal analyst and former defense attorney for Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias was on trial in 2013 for murdering her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander. The trial was televised worldwide and became known as a circus in the press. Here's Kirk.
I can see no viable, tangible reason for that home to be destroyed before the trial is complete. The jury may have questions. Part of the evidence against Mr. Kohlberger is this eyewitness testimony of seeing someone with bushy eyebrows. There's been talk of hearing footsteps from upper levels, things of that nature. And those could be issues and questions that the jury has in their mind. How could someone see these eyebrows under these circumstances? Could they really hear this? All these different things. And there could be dozens more that I have not thought of. And here you have this piece of evidence, and it is destroyed for no logical reason. Let's say something came up with the defense case, and the defense said, hey, we need to look at this. And that becomes a Sixth Amendment issue. Is Mr. Kohlberger getting a fair trial based on these circumstances. And that could result in a death verdict getting overturned. But right now, until the case is over, it seems nonsensical, to say the least, to destroy the building.
Well, that's a concrete answer. But it seems like the people who might have most wanted it taken down might then impact the victims negatively if, for example, a sentence is overturned because of it.
Yes, we don't know what could pop up, what could be of evidentiary value down the line when things are challenged, when things are questioned. So, yeah, to me, it just makes no sense, at least as it relates to the case in general, and could only serve to harm the case.
Let's stop here for another break. We'll be back in a moment. Stephanie and Joseph Scott Morgan discuss how items from the now demolished house might be used during the trial.
One other thing that's very compelling about this case is that they hauled off the mattresses in the back of a pickup truck. They can still bring these items into court, and that has occurred. They can actually have been in courts where they set beds up before. Here's the real rub with that. If you're talking about dynamic blood stain, you can say, here's the mattress that we recovered. Here's the bed frame that we recovered. We see this deposition of blood on the surface of the mattress. Maybe they hold up a bloody sheet. If that happens, you're going to hear the defense scream from the rooftops over this because they're going to say it's prejudicial. The prosecution is going to have to justify their rationale for bringing each one of these items in there. And the defense, I guess, could see it as prejudicial, but they could also argue the idea that now that they are absent that's something that they can not go back and collect. It's real important that we remember, I think, that they were so eager, they being the investigative authorities, to get this place cleaned out, that they had called a cleaning crew to come and clean up the structure before. Right, it almost happened simultaneously with the arrest of Kohberger in Pennsylvania.
Joseph is referring to when Brian Kohberger's defense attorney, Ann Taylor, filed a court motion to stop the cleanup operation to preserve the scene of the crime. This motion was filed on December 30th, 2022, just hours after Kohberger's arrest.
And if I remember correctly, it was his counsel that said, whoa, throw the brakes on. We need to get a team out there to take a look. And I'll never forget seeing that image of the plastic that had been taped up over the door so that they could go in and move out and all this stuff. And then there was controversy of taking out, quote unquote, personal items. And, once you've kind of breached, that threshold so quickly in this environment, there's not a damn bit of sentimental material that's out there that's worth compromising this. Because I know that it's ghastly, it's a horrible thing, but life is full of all kinds of horrible things. This
Joseph Scott Morgan, you tell the Gonzalezes that, and the Mogans and the Kernodles and the Chapins, that they can't get any of their kids' things back. I think they would have been a little upset with you.
I think is potentially a diminishment of the memory of these kids that were killed there. But now it's too late at this point. You can't go back and unring the bell.
Stephanie continues her conversation with psychiatrist Dr. Gail Saltz on how a jury might be impacted by the home's demolition. Here's Dr. Saltz.
Is there an immediacy for a jury going to a house, psychologically speaking? I would say yes, that it's going to stir their thoughts in a more emotionally galvanizing way, and that will draw them in, but it doesn't tell you whether it will draw them in and make them say guilty or innocent. And now, where I think it could affect them is if they are convinced that this person is the perpetrator and they are brought into a circumstance that makes them feel more emotionally distraught. I think that could affect a sentencing like death, no death. And this is why prosecutors bring in photos and movies and voice recordings, because, they are trying to not only deliver content, but they are trying to deliver more immediacy, deliver more empathy to a jury, and have them feel more intensely and stronger about what's happening. I think being in a house certainly could add to that. It's not the only thing that could add to that. I think there was a point made that the house didn't look at all inside anymore the way that it looked. And so that could have the opposite effect, right? They could go in expecting to see something that looks like college students are living there and see none of that, see a sterile space. And that could have the effect of making them feel like what was so bad, what was so terrible. So it's hard to predict whether that would be helpful or harmful.
I hadn't thought of it that way. True. The disassociation from what is now a different space is a really good point.
What I would say is virtual is always one step removed from being in person. I think courts have discovered that putting things in a video format absolutely makes an impact. Is it eked out by the idea that you're coming out of the courtroom and into this space, and you know that you're standing on the spot where this thing happened? I think that has a more emotional impact. Is it necessary if you have the video? Might the video of what the inside looked like at the time that it actually looked that way, which was at the time of the crime, have more impact than the physical plant that doesn't look any more like it did at the time of the crime? It might.
Next time on the Idaho Massacre, an exclusive interview with Cassie, a former student of accused murderer Brian Koberger's. She is speaking out for the first time.
What was the class about?
We covered literally how to get away with murder.
Did he have any friends?
Not that I saw, but kept to himself anytime I saw him on campus or in class or office hours.
So this man potentially murdered 4 people, and then he went back to class?
Yes.
For more information on the case and relevant photos, follow us on Instagram.
Okay, let me get everything down. You have to find the picture. And okay, there we go. I wasn't directly on the picture, so okay. Man, I guess I kind of do look kind of dark in that camera. Vincent was like, "You got tan yesterday," and I was like, "Did I?" And I just saw myself in the camera, and I was like, "I guess I did." But that was the Idaho Massacre, the murder. It's called Murder House. That was the episode. Basically, they went over the demolition of the home. Now, do I think they should have kept it up? I don't think that. Only because of what we read in the in the documents that the house had the flooring taken out, it had baseboards taken out, had flooring taken out. It didn't have any furniture in there. Not all, a lot of the furniture was taken out. So they would have had to have put everything back in there the same way it was. And with all of the biological mess that I'm assuming was in that home, looking from, outside, we could see it coming outside the door or outside the side of the house. I think that it would have been it wouldn't have been good for people to walk in there. If they would have cleaned up, brought the cleaning crew in, they use chemicals that you can't breathe. You just can't be in there breathing them in, for long periods of time or even short periods at that most. I don't even know how long you could be in there. But I was watching this. If you want to check this place out or check this YouTube page out, I think it's called Crime Scene Cleanup. They have over 1 million followers, and they go around and clean up crime scenes, and they actually put all of it on the internet. The everything is shown. I was going to show you guys one. I was like, that's too graphic. And I was like, okay, maybe this one. I was like, oh, that's too graphic. But I found one that wasn't too graphic that we'll go over on the next live. Because I put up a whole little 12-point presentation for you guys, and it was really good. So over crime scenes and cleaning and what they do and all that stuff. So we'll go over that on our next live. Sorry, that was like messing with my lip, but it felt dry. My lips have been feeling dry. I don't know why. I got me a lip mask. I'm gonna try it tonight, so we'll see. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I will look up, just see if there's any any updates on the Travis Decker situation. Okay, nothing that's like where they found him. But it says here, police called to collision involving triple murder suspect Travis Decker 2 days before kidnapping. So, okay, he was in a rear end collision. Let's see what it says. Doesn't say like his car was like really messed up or anything. It says when the light turned green, both vehicles began to move. The car then slowed for traffic ahead of it, and Decker rear-ended the car. Oh, so he rear-ended the car. So there was front end damage to his truck and rear end damage to the car. When Decker was interviewed, police say he admitted to not having car insurance. Nope. You ain't got car insurance, you're not taking my kids anywhere. I'm sorry. Not when it comes to car insurance. No. This happened a few days prior to him getting the girls. Now, when he showed up there to the house, right? I mean, we'll have to do a live over this, but I mean, we have the video. I wonder if you could see the front end damage from the Ring camera. I mean, maybe, I'm sure you can see it from the front door. Usually when you say bye, you're saying bye to your kids, you're at the front door, waving them off or something, right? Bye, kids. At the door. Wouldn't you see the front end damage and be like, hold on a second, back it up. What happened to the car? You know what I mean? Like, and then if the damage was so severe, like where there was a lot of damage, I would be like, I don't feel comfortable with you taking the girls, in your truck. I would say that. Man. Oh. It's just crazy. Yeah, unless you didn't go out. See, my parents always stood at the door. They were like vultures. They weren't helicopter parents by any stretch of the imagination at all. They let us go and make our own mistakes and everything. Like they really trusted us. But like my dad was always at the front door when I left. Not my mom so much, but my dad was there every time. Like I still picture him every time I get in the car. I think of my dad and I put on my seatbelt. Like I'll never not think of him when I get in the car. It's just one of those things. Like I get in the car, I put my seatbelt on. I think of my dad because my dad always said, "Got your seatbelt on? Got your seatbelt on?" Always was like, yes. Yeah, Vicky, she really did trust him. I feel terrible for her. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. It literally is the like little girl version of the Chad Doberman case. Instead of 3 little boys, it's 3 little girls. And they were killed by their father, of all people. That's someone that like is supposed to keep you safe and like you think of for protection, and like that makes me like so sad. Because like, yeah, baby girl mom, yeah. My mom would be like, I mean, they live together still, but my dad he would kill for me. Or if I killed, he would have been like, she didn't do it. Like, it would have been like that. Like, we were so close that we like, I just have stories for days. Just very close family. I was very lucky in that aspect. You think he wanted to hurt her through the kids? See, I don't like, it has to be something like that for him to do this. Like, I wonder if there's going to be like something that comes out. There's going to be like a note that was left. Or, I mean, I sure as heck hope so. I mean, I don't think that he went off into the woods and offed himself. I was thinking that in the beginning, kind of, but if he took the steps to get zip ties, and I mean, plastic bags, those could be in your car, I guess, but to have those and to have the zip ties ready, you know what I mean? I think that this could have been more on a planned, like a planned scale. I don't think he's going to just go off in the woods and unalive himself. I think he would have probably done that with the girls, unless he wants the cops and all of this to be like a big thing, you know, and then be looking for him and, you know, really get to her, I guess, that way. But I don't know. It was definitely premeditated. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. It's just so sad. I mean, how did that day go? You know, what was going through his mind? Like, that's what I got into true crime for. Like, I want to know why he's thinking what he's thinking when he was thinking it. Like, so that I can take the steps to never think like you, buddy. Like, I mean, what would you like? That would have to. I don't understand. 3 little girls. They did nothing wrong, you know. Like, just man, just little. Having all one gender, I think, is adorable. Like, I just think that's adorable. Just like the Chad Dorman case, you know, the 3 little boys, and they were all together, and they were always taking pictures together, and there was just them three little musketeers, and then you have these 3 little girls, and you know, with their pictures, and just beautiful little girls, and they had the whole world, and they had their whole lives ahead of them. No one should be playing God out here, right? We're already in hell. I mean, you know. Just let us live it through and see what's going on. Because I mean, this world is cray. Hey, Harlow. Yeah, this world's really gotten out of control, in my opinion. With the parents unaliving their children, killing their children. I mean, like, I know that this is not new, but it just seems like it's so often. And look at this. I guess the officer cited Decker 196 for following too closely and 559 for operating his truck without insurance. Anytime that I've ever had a car, which I never not had insurance, but you would get your license taken away from you if you didn't have insurance. That's what I was always told. You get pulled over without or get pulled over without insurance, they take your license normally, right? Or if you don't come and like prove that you have insurance, because I think they will. Maybe it's in Ohio. Maybe that's Ohio difference. Yeah, I'll never understand it either. No, he doesn't, Harlow. He doesn't have a history of they had a pretty good relationship, she said. I think everything happened when he lost his wife and then he lost the camper. Like, he was living in like it was like an RV. Then I think, you know, only having partial custody of your children could be part of it. And then she said she was going to take the dog because she said, hey, it's summertime. The car gets too hot, you know, or whatever for the dog. Like, let me take the dog in. I'll give it a good home. Like, I think that could have been like the last thing. Like, she's taken everything from me. He could have thought that in his PTSD mind. Like, or if he has anxiety, you know, and stuff like that, depression, I'm sure. But I don't think that mental health is a reason to go do anything. I think that you should be able to get the help before you are at that spot in your life. And before you get to that spot, if you know you're heading in that direction, you have thoughts of hurting somebody around you, then that's when you immediately you tell someone. Not just, oh, I think I'll be okay. I'm just having a day. No, you're not having a day if you want someone dead. You're definitely need the crisis center. And, you know, you need to tell them yes when you say, do you want to hurt someone? That's what I think, baby girl. Like, he felt like she was just kind of taking everything like little by little. I wonder about the RV. I think he just couldn't afford it and it was taken. Now, if this something happens and it's like, say it was in her parents' name or something and they took it. I'm not saying that this is just like That's a lie. I don't think that happened, but I'm just saying, like, spitballing. Then I could see that being like, wow, that's another thing. You know what I mean? That got him. So, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Right. True crime otherwise. We have a really good VA here. My old surgeon, she used to go there once a month on a Friday, and she would go free. She was my ophthalmologist. She would go like she was surgeon. She was the best doctor I ever had. Best doctor ever, ever, ever. And she would go and she would meet with the veterans and the just people that needed her assistance and care. Hey, I needed it once. I couldn't get my eye back in, or I got it. I had surgery and I was afraid to put it in. That's what it was. And so she's like, instead of meeting me all the way up here, let me meet you down closer to your house. And so it was nice. Yeah, that could be it. And I hope we find out like more. I hope we find out like why he did this, and all of that, because that's the motive is what gets me. I don't know. I can't picture anybody doing this to somebody. So I'm going to jump off here, but thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you. I do have a thumbnail made for our members live. We're going to either do it tomorrow or the next day, but we'll have a members live this weekend. We're going to get Discord set up. If I can't get Vincent to help me with it, I'm gonna have you guys help me with it. It's gonna be like a Discord live setup. So if anyone needs help like navigating it or anything like that, we can all learn together, because I don't know it and y'all said that you don't know it. So, but you guys wanted it. So we'll make sure that we do it. Also, I'll work on the emojis this weekend. I got to get you guys some more emojis, some new ones. We're going to delete some of the old ones. Some of the ones that we're going to keep are like the Cheez-Its, of course. Nancy Grace, of course. We can't get rid of her. I think we're going to get rid of like the ones with me. Like it looks like a little like me, and it's like, waving the flag. Speaking of which, let me go over here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my. Hold on a second. Is Tammy still in here? Hey, Brandy. Look at that. Been a member for 8 months. Thank you. I'm going to show you my baby picture. Oh my gosh. Remember? Okay, so in the beginning of the live, I said, I wish somebody would make me a baby picture. Oh my gosh, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Oh, oh my God. Oh my gosh, this makes me want to have a baby. Oh, too bad you couldn't put like me and Vincent together doing. Okay, did it open up? It didn't open up. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, now I got to get this to open up. Okay. So she took, oh, this is hilarious. Okay. This is really funny. So let me put this on the screen. So she took this picture of me, like the picture that I have. That picture was actually taken in this room right here where this wall is. But back in the day, back like, I don't know, few years, like this is like a 2-year-old picture, I'd say 2.5 years, something like that. And then the baby picture. Look at the baby. Look at it's in my dress from my store and the necklace and everything. Tell me if that's not the cutest baby you've ever seen in your whole life. Now I'm telling you. Done deal. The bow matches the dress at the pink at the bottom. Oh my gosh. I love this. I love this so much for me right now. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I got to show Vincent this. She's got the cutest eyes. And look at the little button nose. Oh, I wish Tammy's clips was still in here so I could tell her. If anyone sees her around the streets tonight, tell her Tanya said thank you so much for the baby picture. That baby don't look nothing like me when I was a baby. That baby's cuter than me, I think. I think that baby might be cuter than me. That baby's really cute, isn't it? Okay, I won't make you look at her very much longer. But oh my gosh, she is so cute. I don't know how to do that. That's the AI baby, yeah. Tammy's Clips was in here and she had hers. And I was like, oh, I wish someone would make me an AI baby. Because I see like the AI things like created all the time. And I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do all that stuff. I need to learn. And so Tammy's Clips that was like, so I sent it to your email. Oh, that's funny. I just remembered it. That baby is really cute. I love the hand in on the hair because like it's just cute. Like that's usually how babies sleep, and they'll be like touching their head. So that's cute. That's adorable. I gotta show Vincent that. Okay. I'll even go to the Maury show to prove it. Maury's not doing that anymore, and I miss that. If you were a 90s kid, you know, like if you stayed home from school, you're watching some Maury and some Jerry and some Jenny Jones. I know them all. Sally, Jesse, Raphael. I do. I think I grew up I grew up in a crazy generation. You're doing AI classes? Oh. Well, let me know. Little baby Theo Vaughn with a mullet. I love Theo Vaughn. He's funny. I really do like him. And that's why he has such a big following because everybody likes him. Like he just has that voice that just makes you want to like listen to him. Like, I mean, he's very laid back and approachable, you know, even when he's falling out of his chair. And some Ricky Lake. Yeah, man, those were the days. Those were the days when you could put the thermometer up to the light and it was, yeah, it wasn't digital. We didn't have digital at my house, but digital what? Digital what? You put this under your tongue for 40 minutes. It really did take forever, didn't it? Just to get your temperature back in the day. You had to put that thing under your tongue for like, well, at least a couple minutes. But listen to me, I'm getting old. I'm bitching about the thermometers. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. If you guys missed the first half of our live, we went over a lot of stuff. We went over all the documents for Pennsylvania, Monroe County. They are calling out 5 people to testify in the trial as witnesses. Also, we watched the latest episode, an hour, that we've been watching them. So it's the latest one for us. And it's Murder House episode 2, season 2. And I'll be posting another one in the morning, afternoon for you guys tomorrow. I'm going to try to keep up on it every day. So thanks for being here tonight, guys. I appreciate it. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful weekend. And hope you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking out.